Dragon Ball DAIMA episode 16, titled Degesu's most interesting part is not Degesu. Hey yo everybody, welcome back to another Dragon Ball DAIMA review. Let's get into it. This one is going to be pretty quick, just like the episode, because they decided to fluff it up like crazy. We'll get into that last, though. Let's start positive, okay? I know y'all love positivity. What was good? What did I like? What was hype? Let's talk about it. So, the best parts, I'm not going to give a full recap, but I would say there are probably 3 highlights, although they're relatively short depending on how you look at it. The first one is the confrontation with Degesu itself. The second is Arinsu's appearance. And the third is the activation of the third eye. We'll talk about those 3 real fast, and then we'll get into the rest of the episode, general thoughts, and the negatives behind it. So, if you want to hear me hate, you want to stick there. If you want to hear everything, you probably should, stick around. Sparking Zero fans as well, go ahead and check that out if you are interested. In the description down below, we've had a lot of Sparking Zero, so if you're into Dragon Ball games as well as these reviews, as I am, Voltage RPGs, give it a shot, huh? Anyway, Degesu. So, I got some good, I got some bad. Let's start with the good. I'd like to say that Degesu looked very, very cool in this. Very reminiscent of some of Zamasu's best expressions. Perhaps even better with his evil nature revealed. Although I do have a either cope or belief that Degesu's whole thing was an act. I feel as though he's still trying to help Guma, maybe leaving with Dende, as he still sent the third eye over to Guma. In theory, I mean, he had it delivered and he chose to leave without the third eye rather than go get it. Either Degesu's a straight up moron, or he is trying to help Guma and was kind of distracting them with the whole Dende thing, perhaps. So the confrontation with Degesu reveals that he wants to be the king of the demon realm when this is all over. The most obvious answer anyone would expect. I also want to say, if you saw last week's review, that I called it, that Degesu was not betraying Guma in that moment. He was facing the Z Fighters, which he was when he has the ray pointed at Dende's head. So, that being said, I did call that nature, but then he's saying, I want to be the demon realm, and they have a confrontation, and they discuss. He's using the hostage and is seemingly betraying them. Again, the art was so on point, but like, he's seemingly betraying Goma. Pansy comes out to make the save. I'm like, oh, nah. He reads it. Very cool. And then he gets sniped by the stupid bouncy hat that they took, and then one tap by Piccolo. At least it was Glorio who sniped him. Not, I was scared it was Hybis. Thankfully, it was Glorio who did it, which I appreciate. I can believe it was Glorio. But that whole section lasts 4 minutes? Not even? Less than 4 minutes. That's what we built up. Yes, it was less than 4 minutes. That's what we built up Degesu for. And called this his episode. The episode is 24 minutes. He got 4 of those, and this is the Degesu episode. Get the fuck out. Let's please be so serious. What are they talking about? So, I am hoping this is a fake out for Degesu. While the moment itself was cool enough until the ending, if this is all he was built up to be, the most obvious twist everyone saw coming from episode 1, and then it flops, horrible execution. And I don't care. I don't care. Horrible as hell. Absolute terrible writing. I don't care who's responsible for that. That was stupid as fuck. Next, let's get into the other ones, which I don't have complaints about. They were actually pretty solidly good. The first being Arinsu finally makes her move. You may as well call the damn episode Arinsu. She was on screen. Well, I wouldn't say she was on screen as much as Degesu, but let's just say her presence had more of an impact. She pulls up when they realize Tamagami 1's Dragon Ball is gone. She's got the 2 Majins with her, and it's time for a confrontation for the final Dragon Balls, which ties into the preview, which we'll talk about in a minute because I found that pretty interesting. But her final appearance is super raw. The Majins being there, sleepy, because we know they were slumped in the scenes they were shown, but ready to go is pretty cool. I do think that this is building up to be a pretty big fight, and I'm excited to see it. So, big W's there. Of course, right before this, we showed Degesu getting captured and marched away by the 3rd Demon World goons. But ignoring that, I did think they looked pretty sick. But I do want to point out that Glorio seems concerned here. Is he debating whether he actually betrays them or not? Again, that ties into the preview we will talk about at the end. So, next from there, the final really good scene, I'll give this episode, is the unlocking of the third eye. It's classic Toriyama humor. You know, he's struggling to get the thing out of the belt for a little while, sure. Tries a bunch of wrenches, a bunch of tools, beating on the ground. And then he decides to go get a plunger because we get a scene of him stopping to take a shit. And then when he comes back, he plunges the eye out of the belt. More comedy. He messed up the first time. It's a little runt dude running around. You can tell Toriyama was having fun with it. And it's entertaining enough. I think, though, it's going to go into the criticisms. We'll get there. But let's just say it's meant to be a comedy scene for now. And then he gets the girl to do it. You know, he has to bribe her. And there's like, ew, you know, gross eyeball. I don't want to do that. And it's supposed to be more and more comedy. Yeah. And then she does it when he finally offers 100K. Stuffs the eyeball in his forehead. And then he begins to transform. Now, we all knew he was going to get a transformation. That's sick, though. We knew he had to. He's not fighting in that little runt body against the others. And Toriyama loves making the small, unsuspecting villain. Although he does like final forms being unintimidating. Or at least smaller than the other one. So maybe he does have another form. Because this one is pretty intimidating. We see Guma grow literally from the transformation. He looks like Jiren. The suit is black and red, way too close to Jiren's design, including the parts of where they're black and red. He gets mega muscular to stretch it out and turns into this hulking version of Goma. And right when we see that shot of Goma's third eye transformation, that's where the episode ends. So, pretty cool design so far. I'm hoping there's more to it. I did have someone immediately ask me, why was Abra, the previous Demon King Deborah's father, still just looking exactly the same, this chubby king with the third eye in his head? Why did he not transform? My theory behind that is that the third eye as a tool must be controlled. We know that Abra was very good with the third eye, although we also know he took it off sometimes. So I do think it's kind of a counter argument. Why didn't he transform? Or he just mastered it enough that maybe he could use it in a minor state and transform when he needed to. Those are my current ongoing theories there. So that was good. Let's talk about the other parts of the episode very quickly, and then we will talk about the bad. So the other, and then we'll talk about the preview too, because I think the preview is very hype, so I think y'all want to stick around to hear that. So, first off, the other events can be summarized pretty fast. We get the face-off with the Gendarmerie Force. Let's just say mid, as expected. We get them going through the castle a little bit. I mean, it's okay. We get a couple of comedy scenes with a girl who has to deliver the thing. And that's really it. Other than just like, yeah, walking around the castle and all that stuff. And the Gendarmerie in the beginning. The Gendarmerie Force was the exact waste of time we always knew they were going to be. They get throttled in seconds by Vegeta after taking up tons of time with their poses and more jokes. The whole episode is just jokes in a lot of places. Even the way Degesu loses could be considered to be just like a joke, right? It's a little too unserious for me. We'll get there in a second. The castle is cool, though. I really did like the castle design. We don't get to see it very much at all, but it's nice that it's all intricate. It seems very pointless because they immediately find Dende. Though they can track Ki, so they get through the maze. I guess most people who can't sense Ki, like in the Demon World, would be very lost in the castle, as we see with the girl who does still somehow find Goma on her own, though, which I guess is a little counterproductive. And then there was the other part, which was, I think it was it. Like, those are the main two, like, time savers. Like, other than, like, a couple of shots where they're, like, preparing to get the Tamagami 1 Dragon Ball. Like, there's no point in talking about that. Let's talk about the bad, though. I'm going to try to make this quick. First off, holy shit did we waste time in this episode. Y'all want to know when the episode starts? The episode starts today at 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Not even, actually, because we're still going to recap. The title card is at 3:18. And the episode actually starts 3:23. They spent 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the longest version of the Goku stuff, you know. This is Son Goku, and he and his friends did a lot of crazy shit. And now he got turned to a kid, and he's still fighting Destruction Universe, and blah, 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 blah. All that bullshit they put in every episode. Literally a time stuffer every time, and they put in the longest version of it too. Then the intro, which is fine. Intros are intros. I never complain about the intro. And then the recap shots of the fight from last week. And then the title card. And then we finally get to the episode starting. And remember, it's not even 20 minutes left of the episode, because then we get the outro at about 22:35. So about 4.5 minutes, or 5 minutes total, of this episode was pointless. So what does that leave us? That leaves us with less than 20 minutes, about 18 minutes or so of actual content. Okay, so obviously we're going to use that content to have full-blown peak the whole episode, right? No, we aren't. Instead, we get the Gendarmerie portion, which I shit you not, lasts until 10 minutes in. And then we haven't even gotten to the confrontation yet. Degesu starts doing a little something about 11 minutes, so we get to like halfway point. But that's just a shot of him seeing them coming. The confrontation with Degesu doesn't even happen until 12 minutes in. 12 minutes. And then that's 4 minutes of the episode. And then we also have the comedy with Guma going on. We have the girl walking around the tower going on a little bit. And that lasts another few minutes. So yeah. This episode is what you would call a setup episode. That's not a bad thing, in my opinion. Not too many people know this about me. I am aiming to be a writer. I'm in college for writing. And all types of writing are different, but there are some similarities. I like to write books and physical stories, but some of those same storytelling elements can be applied, of course, to shows, movies, etc. Why do I say this tangent real fast? I say that because the concept of setting up is not new. It's a universal concept. Games do it where they need chapters that are a bit slower to set things up. Shows do it. Movies have like slightly slow portions to lead into something bigger. So do books sometimes. You don't want it to be boring, but it's not your hypest work because you have to set down the pieces. That concept is okay. Here's the issue. How many episodes have we been setting up? Let's take a look. So we got Super Saiyan 3 in True Strength episode 12. Since then, we got the Giant episode, the Breaking the Portal episode, the Army episode, and the Degesu episode. Listen, most people you would ask, as I've seen the opinion on, is that these last 4 episodes have been set up. That's too much. For a 20-episode series, 4 episodes in a row of setup is too much. It's too much. It is ridiculous that everyone is glazing. Oh my God, the ending of DAIMA is going to be so sick in these last few episodes. People were saying that was going to start here with 16. We have 17, 18, 19, 20. 4 episodes left. We've spent 4 out of our 20 episodes. Let that sink in. That's a fifth of the series. 4 episodes in a row doing setup. And that's not counting if you think any of the earlier episodes in the first half were slow. Not counting those, which they definitely did time fillers. I don't know if they had entirely slow episodes. Like maybe you could say 9 could be up there as a slow episode. But you get it, where we have just been wasting time on a series already this short. Abysmal. Abysmal. This was supposed to be peak, not a setup. We got some hype stuff, but it's clearly still a setup episode for what's to come. DAIMA, to me, has been the king show of wasting time. They love running that clock and making as little episode as they can and stalling it with stuff. And this is where we get into the Toriyama humor. I know people hear Toriyama and they want to defend that man with everything they have. I love Toriyama. But sometimes Toriyama's humor was just too much. And I don't even want to say that the humor is too much. It is very, like, there are points where it's very childlike, very goofy. And it usually did hit, especially in the early parts. Even when it was childish humor, I still found myself enjoying it. The problem is this episode is jam-packed with humor. The Gendarmerie Force was so corny. I know Toriyama loves that concept. And we get a force in pretty much every series. Because don't forget, GT did have the Sigma Force, which is a force of robots. But it's still that concept, right? The thing is, even the damn Sigma Force was better than this, and they are ass. The Gendarmerie Force had a little bit of comedy to him, but that was it, bro. It was just a time waster. And then we get the toilet humor with the Goma, and oh, he's beating the thing out there, he can't get it out. And then the girl, oh my God, classic. Girl wants money, grossed out by gross things. Pay her. She's tricking you to get more money out of it. She's stealing from your, treasure room. Like, that is so overdone. We've seen it 1,012 times. So here's the deal, though. None of that by itself is bad. It's not bad. The problem is when you've already wasted my month of DAIMA episodes with fluff and stalling and setup, and then we're gonna have, Mr. Laughingstock in here. and we got a bunch of these all at once. It just doesn't hit, and I don't think it's Toriyama's humor that doesn't hit necessarily. It's just how the episode was designed. Now, whether that's on him with the storytelling beats, whether that's on Toei for the production and division of this stuff, or whose influence it was, I'm not going to place fingers. I'm just going to say Dragon Ball DAIMA, we were doing a little too much, resulting in a little too little, if that makes sense to y'all, right? Rant over. Only a bit of negativity. Just need to get that out there. Finally, that took longer than it was supposed to. Let's talk about the preview, because the preview does have me in high hopes, although I said that last week, and I will say overall, I was disappointed with the Degesu section. Not a ton, but a decent little bit. So what we get in the preview here is we get to see the battles starting. Goku is immediately in Super Saiyan, or we can hope, unless he wants to use base for 12 hours again. Throw our hands up there. He's in Super Saiyan fighting Dew. That's sick, and it looks like Goku is trying a little bit while Dew is not, but we'll see. We see Tamagami 1 surprised by what's going on. Piccolo finally throwing off the weights, and Glorio, this is important, Glorio is still fighting with them against Arinsu. So whether he's a traitor or what is to be seen. We also see that Vegeta is fighting Ku and Dew alongside Vegeta, Piccolo, Glorio, and Shin and Goku. So it's like a 5v2. No one is past Super Saiyan in the preview, but everyone seems to be really trying for this fight. We also get a very interesting scene where the demon world itself is like being shifted and changed. Like some type of island is forming, something enclosing them. My guess is it's going to be Guma using the third eye, but we'll see. So next week, at least we're getting to the battles. Hopefully those will live up to the hype. This episode was a little disappointing. 4 episodes worth of setup, not good. Very amazing art style as always, but it seems to be the only thing we can praise in DAIMA lately. Unfortunately, I mean, just saying it like it is. But I just hope that truly these next 4 episodes have some execution, really good execution. Make this series worth it, man. Make it worth it. Make it worth it. If you can do that, it'll all be okay. That said, I've been yapping for 17 minutes and my throat is dry. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment your thoughts down below. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more. We're aiming for 400 subscribers. I saw y'all rock with the last DAIMA video, so I hope you guys will maybe rock with this one. But in any case, we should be getting to the hypest stuff. So stay tuned. Check out Sparking Zero if you're interested in that. Join the Discord if you want to meet more of the Voltage crew. Talk with me there. Talk with others there. All that good stuff. And you should see a video on your screen right about now suggesting something else from YouTube that YouTube thinks you would like. Check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, have a great year, nights, days, evenings, mornings, whatever times you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Voltage, out.